Back in those days, we all had that one poster in our bedroom. It came in different colors, but most of us had or preferred just that one color because that motorcycle looked so beautiful in that color. Well, we're talking about a Japanese icon that changed the motorcycling industry when it came to super sports, when it came to inline four technology, and then it transformed into something called as a cross-plane engine. This motorcycle has evolved over the period of time. And we at Bikenbiker, we took a big challenge of picking up a 1998 model of this bike. And we were up for a huge risk and a challenge, I would say, because the scarcity of parts, getting the right set of people to do this job for you. Because the motorcycle that we picked up needed a little bit of work, a little bit of cleaning up, and basically getting the bike back into one piece, getting it back into the OEM state of how it should actually run. And we reached out to none other than
Hi, my name is Anand Dharmaraj, and I'm talking to you from the Grease House, Indimotard's Grease House. So, um, quick introduction about me. I've been riding motorcycles for I don't know for as long as I can remember, but basically I used to race motorcycles for a long time in the US. I moved back to India. We started track days in India back in 2002 or 3. Um, we also started motorcycle tours with a fleet of Royal Enfields and Husqvarnas that we bought from imported from Singapore. Anyway, so we started off on that note, and the track days were something we were just doing as friends and family. But that's evolved into a proper school uh, in terms of we run it about 4 or 5 times a year at MMRT, as in Chennai, MIC now, Madras International Circuit, and at the Curry Motor Speedway in Coimbatore. All right, so as you can see, this is, if you haven't guessed, it's an R1. It's a 2001 R1, which is 98 to 2001 was the same model of the Yamaha R1. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's one of the, I think at that era of motorcycles were just so well put together. They look, even today, they look timeless. The bike came in obviously with quite a few things that the owner wanted done on the bike. Um, so at the point it came in, it didn't start, etc. But we started with from the front. If you look all the way to the back, we've done quite a few things on this motorcycle to get it to where it is now. We will start it at some point, but before that, obviously the front forks, bearings, brake pads, uh, the T-stem, the cone set, I mean the T-stem bearings, the front forks were reworked. We had, obviously changed the oil. It was pretty much running from, I don't know from when it was, the oil hadn't been changed. We reset the suspension. We checked the valves, obviously the air filter, spark plugs, all of that were checked and reset. We we got to the back of it in terms of to change sprocket kit. It did take us a while to get the right parts because obviously the owner wanted it to be as original as possible. So it did take us some bit of effort coordinating, getting the right parts of the original parts for the Yamaha. So if you look, pretty much everything on this bike is as original as you can get when you bought the motorcycle. I think the only thing that I can see on this bike that's probably the crash bobbins. That's about it. But everything else is pretty much stock. Of course, the front bubble is additional. It's a smoked visor, and the exhaust on it is a Yoshi. I mean, for those who are familiar with it, uh, pretty much, yeah. The wheel bearings were checked. The tail lamps were not working. The indicators were not working. So quite a few things here that are what I call general maintenance, but at the same time to make sure that it just comes back to spec. So that's kind of what it is. We did do a, obviously a clean and polish and all of that stuff, but it runs superb. The engine's in super healthy state, and apart from that, I don't see anything that I could say is faulty with this motorcycle at this point. All right, so let's fire this thing up. So in addition to that, I just wanted to talk of just about sourcing these parts and how difficult they were. Some of you probably have older motorcycles. It is difficult to get these today because obviously they're not exactly readily available in stock. But most of this was sourced by Bikenbiker, and they did manage to get all the stuff that was needed to put this bike back together. And I think the most difficult one was, I think the chain sprocket kit, specifically because we wanted it to be stock. It's a 525, 530 pitch. It's not something that's readily available. Everybody's moved to a 520 pitch. And I think it took some lead time. I want to say easily, I want to say a couple of, maybe, I don't know, about a month and a half, 2 months to try and get some of these, what I call regular cycle parts, but they were still difficult to source. So if you are looking to restore something like this, obviously it is possible, but it is a painstaking affair, and it does take some time to source the right amount of right parts. If you're looking for, obviously Jugaad is not the right way to go. These bikes do require quite a bit of maintenance in terms of if you wanted to bring it back to stock. But right now, all of that has come together, I think, over the period of almost, I'm going to say about 8 months, 9 months. But that's what it is, and hopefully you guys like it. So that's it. Right, it's a Saturday, so let me take this beauty out for a spin. And we built this, so let's see how it rides.